Apple Mac Mini, M1, 2020, Review. Our verdict. The Mac Mini, M1, 2020, updates Apple's cult Mac with its latest M1 hardware. For many people, this is exciting, as it means the Mac Mini no longer feels like it's being neglected by Apple. However, it does come with a few compromises that not everyone will like. Review. With the new Apple Mac Mini, M1, 2020, we finally see the smallest Mac get a much-needed update. And it arrives with some bold promises, as Apple is claiming up to 3 times faster CPU performance than the previous Mac Mini, and up to 6 times the graphical performance. That's all thanks to Apple's new M1 system on a chip, SoC. Debuting in the new Mac Mini, the new MacBook Air, M1, 2020, and the new MacBook Pro 13-inch, M1, 2020, laptops, the M1 allows the new Mac Mini to compile Xcode up to 3 times faster, play intensive games, and render complex Final Cut Pro scenes much faster than the previous model, all while retaining its small and compact chassis. The fact that the Mac Mini, M1, 2020, is the first desktop Mac to get the M1 chip will please any fan of Apple's small form factor computer. We include ourselves in that category, with previous models winning us over thanks to their compact designs and fantastic performance, which make the Mac Mini one of the most versatile machines in Apple's computing range. It's also Apple's oddest device in some ways, and while that's part of its appeal, it also means it can sometimes feel a bit unloved by the company. Before the Mac Mini, 2018, the computer went without an update for 4 years, so it's great to see Apple showcase the M1 chip, alongside its new macOS 11 Big Sur operating system, in the new Mac Mini. When it comes to price, Apple is asking for $699, £699, $1,099 for the model with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. This is actually cheaper than the base model of the Mac Mini 2018, so to see a performance boost for less money is really impressive. And it really has got a performance boost. Even though the M1 chip that powers the new Mac Mini is Apple's first chip for a desktop PC, it's really knocked it out of the park. This tiny little PC feels fast and responsive, and it was able to punch above its weight when it came to intensive video rendering tasks. However, we should note that the move to the M1 chip means the memory is capped at 16 GB, and you can no longer use external graphic cards, EGPs. This will disappoint anyone who needed to upgrade their Mac Mini. Overall, then, the Mac Mini, M1, 2020, is an impressive bit of kit, with Apple's latest hardware and software taking center stage. It's great to see Apple embracing its quirky little PC, and using it as a showcase for its M1 hardware in a desktop PC. In many ways it continues to offer what we love so much about the Mac Mini. It has a compact, attractive design, with some great components inside, and the ability to run legacy Intel apps, along with M1 apps and iOS apps, is genuinely exciting. However, for people who want a productivity machine, the fact that the new Mac Mini no longer supports EGPs will be a major disappointment. Sure, most owners will never use one, but this is a PC that's developed a cult following amongst video editors and photographers thanks to its scalability via EGPs. With that feature now missing, and memory limited to 16 GB, the Mac Mini, M1, 2020, may not offer everything that more demanding users need. Price and availability. The new Mac Mini, M1, 2020, is on sale now globally, and starts at $699, £699, $1,099 for the model with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. There's also a model with 8GB RAM and 512GB storage space for $899, £899, $1,399. Both of these have the same M1 chip with an 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU, which is the same chip as the one in the Apple MacBook Pro 13-inch, M1, 2020. Both models can be further configured to offer up to 16 GB of unified memory and up to 2 TB of SSD storage. The base model is also cheaper than the 2018 Mac Mini, which started at $799, £799, $1,249, so you're getting drastically improved hardware for less money. It's good to see Apple get competitive with pricing, as compact desktop PCs from competitors like Zotac and Intel often cost a lot more, although they are usually more customizable. Design. Like the new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro 13-inch, the Mac Mini, M1, 2020, keeps the same design as its predecessor. With dimensions of 1.4 by 7.7 by 7.7 inches, 3.6 by 19.7 by 19.7 centimeters. The Mac Mini M1 2020 is exactly the same size as the Mac Mini 2018, though its weight of 2.6 pounds, 1.2 kilograms, is slightly lighter than the 2018 model, which weighed in at 2.9 pounds, 1.3 kilograms. We've criticized Apple for not innovating with the design of the new MacBook Air M1 2020 and MacBook Pro 13-inch M1 2020, but in the case of the new Mac Mini we feel a bit more relaxed about the fact that its design hasn't changed significantly. Performance. If you were worried that the move from Intel hardware to its own silicon would be a blow to the Mac Mini's performance, you needn't have worried. The Apple Mac Mini M1 2020 performs incredibly well, with macOS Big Sur running smoothly. We tested a few native and legacy apps. Apple's Rosetta 2 tool allows you to continue to run older apps without any major issues, and they ran well. You wouldn't notice that some of them are not running natively. The fact that you can run older Mac apps on the Mac Mini M1 2020 is commendable, and with the M1 chip allowing iOS apps to be installed as well, it means the Mac Mini continues to be a very versatile little PC. The big selling point for the Mac Mini M1 2020 is the inclusion of the Apple Silicon M1 system on a chip, a new 8-core chipset that combines the CPU, I/O, security and more into one. For more updates, subscribe to Tech News and share this video.